You stand at the altar, heart pounding, looking into the eyes of the person you've chosen. The world narrows to this moment, a promise whispered, a future gleaming with shared dreams. For men, this often feels like the pinnacle, the successful pursuit, the ultimate commitment, the building block of a family. Society has taught us that marriage is the prize, the foundation of a man's stability, a testament to his worth. But what if beneath the confetti and the heartfelt vows, there's an unspoken reality, a quiet unease that many men feel but rarely articulate? What if the very institution designed to celebrate love and partnership inadvertently places men at a unique and profound disadvantage? Is marriage in some subtle, systemic ways rigged against men, transforming a dream into a different kind of burden, a silent struggle behind a smile? This isn't about blaming or pointing fingers. It's about looking beneath the surface of what we've always accepted and asking difficult, empathetic questions. It's about acknowledging a side of the marital coin that often remains unturned, an experience many men live through but are rarely given the space to voice without fear of judgment or misunderstanding. We're not here to diminish the beauty of love or the strength of partnership, but to explore how societal expectations, legal frameworks, and even our own internal wiring can create a landscape where men, despite their best intentions and deepest affections, can find themselves profoundly vulnerable within the confines of marriage, particularly when those bonds fray. Think about the narrative woven around men and marriage. From a young age, many boys are subtly or overtly groomed for a role: the provider, the protector, the strong one. The success of a man is often measured not just by his career, but by his ability to provide for a family, to win a partner, to build a home. Marriage becomes the ultimate validation of this role, a testament to his capabilities. He's expected to be the initiator, the one who proposes, often bearing the financial weight of the engagement and wedding. This deep-seated societal pressure to be the unwavering anchor means that men often enter marriage with an immense, unspoken weight on their shoulders, a weight that is intensified by the emotional investment they pour into making the relationship work. For many men, the identity of husband and father becomes inextricably linked to their core sense of self-worth. They are invested, often more deeply than society gives them credit for, in the success and permanence of their family unit. But what happens when that foundation begins to crack? The transition from the passionate pursuit of a partner to the day-to-day realities of married life can shift dynamics in ways that often leave men feeling lost or unappreciated. The initial spark can give way to a focus on roles, responsibilities, and the relentless grind of keeping a household afloat. Men might pour their energy into work, believing they are fulfilling their primary duty as a provider, only to find their efforts taken for granted, or worse, deemed insufficient emotionally. They often suppress their own emotional needs, believing it's their role to be the stoic one, the problem solver, the rock. This emotional suppression, encouraged by traditional masculine ideals, leaves them isolated and vulnerable, particularly when the relationship hits turbulence. They become, in essence, an emotional silent partner, their feelings often secondary to the perceived needs of the household or their spouse. This emotional and societal pressure is then often compounded by the legal realities of divorce. For many men, the institution of marriage, when it ends, feels less like a partnership dissolving and more like a punitive financial and personal undoing. Alimony, child support, and asset division laws, while designed to create equity, are often perceived by men as disproportionately favoring women. Even in an era of dual-income households and increasing female financial independence, The fear of financial ruin is not abstract. It's a tangible anxiety that looms large. Many men face the prospect of losing their home, a significant portion of their assets accumulated over a lifetime, and the heavy burden of ongoing payments that can cripple their ability to rebuild their lives. It's not uncommon for men to feel that their financial contributions throughout the marriage, even if they were the primary earner, are not truly valued in the aftermath, but rather seen as a resource to be divided and redistributed. Beyond the financial devastation, there's the crushing blow of custody battles. Despite decades of progress, a traditional bias often persists in the legal system, sometimes favoring mothers in child custody disputes, even when fathers are equally loving, capable, and involved parents. The heartbreak of being reduced to an access parent, of seeing their children only on weekends or specific holidays, is a profound and often lifelong grief that many men carry. Their identity as a father, so central to their sense of self, is fractured. They lose not just their children's daily presence, but often their direct influence, their ability to guide and nurture in the way they envisioned. This profound loss of connection, coupled with the financial strain, often pushes men into a spiral of despair that goes largely unacknowledged. The emotional and psychological toll of marital breakdown on men is an unspoken reality of immense proportions. The loss of identity, the shattering of the future they envisioned, the severing of family ties. These are not minor injuries. Men often define themselves by their roles as husband and father. When these roles are stripped away or severely curtailed, a deep existential crisis can ensue. Studies consistently show a correlation between divorce and increased rates of depression, anxiety, and tragically suicide among men. Yet, society often expects men to man up, to silently endure, to rebuild without complaint. They are often denied the same space for grief and vulnerability that is extended to women. Their support networks, often less robust and emotionally expressive than women's, may falter, leaving them isolated precisely when they need connection the most. The collective expectation for men to be strong and stoic becomes a cage, trapping them in their suffering. Furthermore, within marriage itself, men often find their emotional needs neglected. They are conditioned to be the givers, the doers, the fixers. Who then fixes them? Who listens to their silent anxieties, their day-to-day struggles, their feelings of inadequacy? Many men experience a profound loneliness within marriage, feeling emotionally disconnected, their efforts taken for granted, their vulnerability met with discomfort or dismissal. They might be working long hours, sacrificing hobbies, or enduring difficult professional situations, all for the perceived good of the family, only to feel invisible, their contributions undervalued, their silent burdens unseen. This emotional neglect can fester, leading to resentment and a quiet despair that precedes the eventual breakdown of the relationship. And in our modern world, these challenges are becoming even more complex. As gender roles evolve, men are caught in a paradox. They are increasingly expected to be emotionally available, to share domestic duties, to be sensitive partners. All positive shifts, to be sure. But simultaneously, many women and society at large still often expect them to maintain the traditional role of primary provider and protector. This creates a double bind. Men are asked to be everything to everyone, often without a clear roadmap or adequate support. The invisible labor of men, the maintenance of the home, the financial planning, the protection of the family's physical safety, often goes unacknowledged, just as women's emotional and domestic labor has historically been. This pressure to adapt to new expectations while simultaneously upholding old ones can lead to confusion, burnout, and a feeling of being perpetually inadequate. So, where do we go from here? This conversation is not an attack on marriage itself, nor is it meant to diminish the very real challenges women face within relationships and divorce. Rather, it's a call for deeper understanding, for radical empathy, and for a more equitable future for everyone involved in the sacred institution of marriage. It begins with an honest dialogue, a willingness to look beyond gender stereotypes and acknowledge the unique vulnerabilities and burdens that men carry. It means re-evaluating our societal expectations for men, encouraging them to be emotionally expressive and seek support without shame. It means advocating for legal reforms that are truly gender neutral, focusing on individual circumstances and the best interests of children, ensuring fairness in financial outcomes and shared parenting. Ultimately, it's about fostering a culture where partnership is truly reciprocal, where both men and women feel seen, heard, and valued for their unique contributions, where their emotional needs are met, and where the potential for pain and loss in the event of separation is acknowledged and mitigated for all parties. Marriage, at its heart, is meant to be a union of love, respect, and mutual support. If we truly want it to flourish, to be a source of strength and joy for men and women alike, we must bravely confront these unspoken realities. We must dismantle the invisible structures that inadvertently rig the game, not against one gender, but against the very essence of human connection. Only then can marriage truly become a sanctuary, a true partnership built on genuine understanding and shared equity, where no one feels silently sacrificed on its altar.